Being an individual sport, but for us, Team Ireland is about Team Ireland. You have to put aside, the individual interests and work for the team, and that is the most challenging aspect of it, is to put aside the individual interests of everybody and think about Team Ireland and make that a priority. They all have a good sense of humor, believe me, they're not, they all have a good sense of humor, and I'm very lucky to have, such a cool group to work with, and they're serious and they are really onto the job when it's necessary, but when everything is all done and dusted, we can, have a couple of beers, not too many, just a couple of beers, and have a good laugh, because they have a great sense of humor and they're really, really great human beings. I've been, lucky enough to gone through the 28 years of international career. So I've put together quite an important amount of experience in my baggage. To me, it's try to give them the easiest path to what we are aiming for, the easiest path to that, with making as little mistake as possible. And they're very receptive because they understand that I've gone through all of this already before them, and that it worked out pretty much okay for me. So they trust me when I tell them, look, let's try to do this. They don't argue. They say, okay, let's try to do that. We have a open and honest communication. That for me was from the beginning very important, to be honest. Say whatever you have to say, and let's try to find the solutions together. So they're very receptive of the suggestions that I put forward, but I also really want to listen to what they have to say, because that's important. It's not a dictatorship. It's we're partners in this, and we're all in the same boat, so we all have to row the same direction. And I must say that coming into the second year now of the experience, it's going well, and we are all the time getting better at communication and always keeping our eyes on the prize. So we have before every show that we do as a team, we have a WhatsApp group, and we talk on WhatsApp about everything that's supposed to happen between that moment and the beginning of the show, and during the show as well, because it's easier than to text one by one. So we put everything in the group, which also was for them in the beginning a little bit difficult, because that kind of transparency, they were not really accustomed or used to it. So we have these WhatsApp groups, and I call them, according to necessity, to talk to one or to the other, or things that I've seen on TV over the weekend if they are jumping, because they're all jumping left and right. So I go back and look at the videos of the horses jumping, and then if I see something special, I call them. So we try to have that kind of communication, and when they have a problem, they call me as well. And so we try to talk as much as possible. And I'm watching. When I called them and I said, oh, you did this and you did that, they sometimes seem kind of surprised. You were not there, how do you know? But with the internet today and all the live streams and everything, it makes it possible not to be everywhere, but to see everything. As a chef or as a rider, I've always been in favor of the drop score. I think that the Nations Cup formula is a very good formula as it was. Unfortunately, now it's been changed for the Olympics, and we'll see how it's going to play out. But I think that it's maybe difficult to follow when you're behind your TV, the drop score, but actually on site as the competition is going, it's absolutely not difficult to follow. And I mean, we're dealing with animals that have their own situations or things that can happen that can jeopardize, a result for a country, a qualification, a medal. So I think that the drop score is should be totally acceptable. And they compare, say, oh, the baton relay, if they drop the baton, they're out. Okay, but there are human beings that you can talk to and say, look, if you drop the baton, you're out. The horse is not exactly the same thing. So if your horse slips in a turn, or your girth breaks, or something like that, there's a lot of responsibility on each ride, but you know, they decided like this and we have to go for it, but I'm 100% for the drop score.